everybody else adults, you know what I'm saying, or maybe 14. But whatever the case may be, this adult is talking, this black woman is talking, this Muslima is talking. And this is a middle school, and they're like laughing and joking, and the two teachers are white women. Now, it's another little baby sitting next to the white women, and she's like smiling and, you know, kind of making jokes and stuff. She's kind of participating, but she's kind of playing around too. They all going back and forth across the table, and you can clearly see that these white women don't relate. They don't relate at all. That cultural competence is not there. They want to help for all intents and purposes. But it's this funny thing about y'all, the system, on all sides of it. Y'all the teachers union, y'all white women in America, 9 times 10, y'all feminists, y'all white moms. Y'all have a lot of places where y'all get privilege, y'all get to be heard, and y'all have an idea of how things are supposed to go for y'all. So a lot of things that are affecting these young girls in this class is never going to affect you. Culturally, you're never going to be able to connect with her, no matter how much sympathy you have for her. Not empathy, not compassion for real. Sympathy. And this young girl, she don't understand that. Because the self-esteem issues that she has that are created because of the system that you benefit from as the white woman, feminist, white wife, mom, college educator, wherever you went, sorority, whatever you went to, all of these places where you receive white privilege as the dominant culture, as the wife to the patriarchal male society person that they all talk about when they talk about men, the good old boys. So she's in, these two women are in here, they don't relate. It's two black women in here, unfazed. They can see what's going on, but they're unfazed. They have patience with these young women. They continue to talk. But it's like you are unruly in this class because the system has left you unable to have emotional constraint, to understand principles, to understand values. I understand that. I understand that these two white women can't teach you how to be respectful to this black woman. They can't. It's nothing they can say to you to convince you to relate to anything to get them to calm down. Because they're children. So to a certain extent, we're going to have that patience. And all of us, we do. Everybody, you know, God, Tamara, I can't remember the young lady's name, and I'm upset with myself that I can't. Even the principal who came in late, I didn't really like that. But she's the principal. But that was kind of what the young people told her. She kind of lets the dean do everything, and she kind of pops in and out. She kind of let the dean be the attack dog, and then she can come in and be the nice one when y'all really on the same page. And that's the only reason why I talk about that gamesmanship that goes on, the good cop, bad cop type of stuff. You got your henchmen be the super mean person, but y'all really on the same accord, and then you get to come and be the nice person. Jail shit they used to do in jail. Everywhere they play psychological games on trying to control people, they do these games instead of giving people a cultural ethic to want to be respectful, to want to work hard, to understand I'm following these adults because they're leading me someplace to be great. The adults don't even believe it. So come on. So anyway, you cannot identify with these young women at all. All you have is sympathy for them. And when you run out of that, you have the same angst and ire that everybody else has for them. And then we can criminalize their attitudes. And we wonder where these attitudes come from. So anyway, this sister's up there talking to this baby, you know, and let me explain. The two young men, they did an amazing job with their presentation on why the rules should be changed. And to jump into that, and congratulations to them, their whole thing was based off, y'all don't go by your own policy, so why y'all think that the children are going to go by it? The teachers aren't even reading. The staff, the climate staff, nobody's reading the policy. What y'all doing to these babies is policing them. And now that they're being taught to critically think, because that was my point of everything today, The only way you win is if you can think, if you can critically think. If you cannot critically think, you're not going to win. If you can't think, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. All the athletes, all the singers, all the people who you thought was so great but couldn't think. They didn't have the information. And when they did have the information, they didn't know how to access it. Why? Because they couldn't critically think. They didn't understand how important it was. Shit, I got $100,000. I'm going to give him $20,000. I'm going to overpay him to take care of this shit so I don't got to think about it. And he takes 60. Because he know you ain't going to figure it out. And by the time you figure it out, it's going to be too late. And then you're going to have to do the next thing. You're going to have to do the next physical thing. This when you wonder why a motherfucker that got it all to lose and go kill a motherfucker. Because he couldn't think. How many athletes is getting railroaded by women? Relationship-wise? Business decisions? How they spend their money? They got the money. They got the physical prowess. You thought he can't think. And he need people to think for him. That's why he gets taken advantage of. That's why there's always somebody in his pocket. Because he needs somebody. He got all the money. He got all the physical prowess. Whatever that is. And why so many people wind up effed up, money twisted up, vice is way worse. You get all this money and become a drug addict. Why would you do that? Because you can't think. So anyway, we in the class, these two young women are, for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't say being disruptive, but they are being rude and they are being as a level of disrespect. Now, mind you, one of these young women, when I was in the class the last time, her name is Goddess. She was garbed up, super smart, light skinned. That's important. Colorism is real with our young women. And all of the young girls, about 3 young girls were following her. There's another young lady, her name was Elizabeth. She was from Indianapolis, if I remember properly. When I came to the class the first time, Elizabeth, and this was early in the year, like I came the first time was maybe like 7 weeks ago. Elizabeth, very, very outspoken, intelligent. You could tell this work going on at the crib. It just is what it is. The school didn't do that. Now, the Indianapolis school district, whatever school she may have went to before she got to Wagner, they did that. But you could tell it still wasn't a thing for her to be from another place in the school, very talkative, very smart. Other end, Goddess, Muslim, smart as well, a lot of attitude, all the different stereotypical woman, black woman stuff, baddie stuff, reality TV stuff, city girl stuff. And you could say these young women don't know the city girls, but the music that you're hearing right now is a continuation of the city girls from 2019. And that's not that long ago. That's 6 years ago. The influence is still there. They help usher in a whole bunch of independent, standing female artists who are talking their own ish, like 90s niggas. But hey, I talk about that. So, Elizabeth, very informed, very involved, was very into the presentation. All of them were when I came the first time. Goddess as well. And her friends followed suit because Goddess was participating. Her other friends participated. You know what I'm saying? 2 dark-skinned young women and another light-skinned young woman. Again, important. Very important. And a child identifying as a boy. A little girl. Wearing a hood the same way she was the last time. Covering her face. But also trying to participate. That was her way. And she participated a little bit. And today. So anyway, I brought that up because Goddess was all on something else today. And when the young woman went up, boom, they still kind of laughing, playing. What the teachers do, they made Goddess and the other young woman leave. Didn't want that to happen. Couldn't intervene, but didn't want that to happen. Because it didn't affect us the way y'all overdoing it right now. Because now it's, y'all need to listen to these black people coming in here and teaching y'all about yourself. We don't need you for that. We here. We right here. For real, you shouldn't have even been in the room. But, y'all work there. The system says the teachers union, y'all need to be in there. Even though it was enough black women in there for me and God to be in there. And it wasn't all young women. But, just to make sure that all those T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So anyway, they kicked Goddess and the other young women out the room. They didn't want to leave. They stood outside the door. They didn't go nowhere. They were upset. They wasn't upset because they felt like they was being embarrassed. And they were being rude. But it's something that could have been handled. So, but cultural competence. How much patience do you have? What really gets on your nerves versus what gets on my nerves? I like to tell a lot of my family, a lot of the things that be going on, I really don't give. I've been to jail. For me, that was like my lowest common denominator. So it ain't really a lot for me out here that really be like, this is crazy. For me, it'd be more like the stupidity of stuff that makes me think, oh, this is crazy. What the fuck? It's not really circumstances and things like I kind of seen a lot of stuff. Heard it all, seen it all, been at the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. That's what jail was for me. So it's not too much shit that's going to be like, I can't sleep here. I can't eat here. I can't do that. You know what I mean? And that doesn't take any value from what I know I deserve day to day as a person, a human, a black man. So anyway, excuse me. So anyway, we in the class. They kick Goddess out. I'm like, damn, I'm about to speak to the class, give some words of encouragement. Words of encouragement, because this is a commencement. It's basically like a graduation from the cohort. And they did a good job. Their presentations was good, the bullet points, everything. They believed in it. I didn't like that so many of the children wanted to be a part of it as a part of being a part of an event, but they left all the work for one or two children. And everybody kind of got credit for it. And it was cool because they supported them, but then it was kind of like this whole, that's the selfish shit. That's the group shit. And when it goes the other way, y'all kind of like, well, I'm an individual. I don't want to be punished with this person. Da, 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 da. Cool. I understand that. That's real stuff. But then you can't want the group accolades and you really didn't participate like everybody else. That's not how this works. So that was something I would have probably like, if I had a little more input, I would have kind of kept everybody involved to whatever that you can keep them involved. And then I would have singled those young people out that singled themselves out in a different type of way. Everybody wouldn't have been able to, because they got up there and did the work and y'all didn't do nothing for real. Y'all participated in the classes, but the work that had to go down to put the presentation together. And then when they were actually doing the presentation, the support was there, but it was, but they children. It's a middle school. That's something I always keep in my mind as well. They're 12, 13, 14. 11, 12, 13, 14. You know what I mean? So anyway, they kicked Goddess and her girlfriend out. I get up there. I start talking. I'm talking about identity, but more critical thought. And I allow the children to know that what y'all have going on right here, what my whole point for being here was to teach y'all some level of critical thought. Because this is not being taught to y'all. Ask your teachers. And the two white women were sitting there. Nobody disagreed, which is wild. They thought their silence was somehow agreement and right on this. But I don't want that. I don't want right on. Start teaching it. What the fuck? Stop me in my tracks and tell me I'm lying. Do something. Don't. No. Why are you not teaching these middle school children who are going through their chemical changes, not that they need to know how to critically think? And I said, the reason why she's acting like that, because she don't understand the outcomes. And she's doing these things, because a part of critical thought is self-awareness, being mindful. Understanding space, time, what's going on? Like the person that's up there speaking, why are these people here? No, you don't owe them anything for coming up here, and they don't owe you anything, but you got to understand the connection that's trying to be made. by some of the adults who are trying to warn you, who are trying to educate you, who are trying to build with you, build you up. Make you understand greatness in yourself that right now this world is telling you does not exist. Get you to understand the lack of identity is why you have self-esteem issues that have you have this attitude. Want to deflect everything. Want to be mean towards everything. Because you don't want to be let down. You think everybody going to let you down. So you starting at a bottom baseline. Everything is bitch, nigga, get the fuck out of here. I don't care. He. It's funny. I don't care. That ain't none of my business. What I got to do with them? All of that. That's all low self-esteem shit. You trying to scratch out a place. To give yourself, make yourself. You just want to be different for something. That's low self-esteem shit. That come from this society. That's why I said earlier, colorism is real. Because I asked those young babies about it, and they said it was a real thing. And Goddess is light skinned. That's why I brought that in. And one of her girlfriends was dark skinned. When Goddess left, I'm like, all right, you here, you participated when Goddess left. When Goddess was here, you didn't want to participate. The reason why you're willing to follow, because you're not critically thinking. She has some information, even if it's emotional information or resources, things that can be confused at that age with information. So young people will follow, my mom is around. She buys me certain things. She does certain things for me. Your mom is not around. So you follow me. And then the crazy thing about that is then I'll start identifying with you, and then my parents looking at me like, you ain't broke, you ain't neglected, why you come here with that shit? And this young baby following you because not so much you got the information, but it seems like that because you have somebody caring for you in a way that they don't. You are accessed and resourced in a way they don't. So that's like the mistake of information. But then sometimes these young babies do. Or what she do, she'll fight. And she quick to fight because she already geared to thinking that the girls ain't going to like her because she light-skinned. Or they not going to like me because I'm dark-skinned. So if you the dark-skinned girl, you following the light-skinned girl because it's like, all right, they accept her. And me and her cool, so they going to be cool with me. None of it is true. It's true, but it's not. It's true, and this is how we act on shit, even the adults. Again, the adults dropping the ball because adult women still deal with colorism and be fake as shit about it. And it's a conversation that's not being had as that rites of passage from older women to younger women. And then if y'all see the way that these babies are exaggerating this baby hair, y'all older women need to be paying attention to that, but too many of y'all trying to keep baby hair and lashes and all that type of shit. Is lashes over? Ain't that over? I know grown women. It's funny because it seems like grown women is the only one wearing them now, though, too. Older women, like, you missed the joint. Let it go. You missed the wave. Take them fucking lashes off, yo. It's over. The baby hair joint is crazy because these babies got the whole forehead covered. And it's like, do they see it? Because it don't look right. And I asked them about it. And they laughed. I said, that's because you lack critical thought. Was that really your idea? Yeah, you probably look way better in a whole nother hairstyle. But you trying to do this because this is what everybody else doing. Because you want to feel accepted. And you already dealing with self-esteem issues, so you don't want to be out of the motherfucking fold with everybody else. You don't want nobody bringing no attention to you. So is they kick the two babies out the class. I get up, I start talking about identity and critical thought, more so about critical thought. And, you know, I said what I said in front of the teachers. They didn't say anything. I told these young babies, these two white women are going to be all right when they leave. You're not. It's a certain way we got to do this. And the major part when folks is trying to give you some resources and some access to something, especially the ability to think, You better jump on it, because if you can't think, you're going to fail. You can't win if you can't think. I'm telling you. Because if you can't think, other people got to tell you what to do, because you don't know. Somebody else is always going to be leading you because you don't know. There's no way for you to run your own life if you can't think. I'm telling you, it don't exist. And then the other part of it is, if you can think to whatever level we are able to sustain, anybody that got more information than you literally can take advantage of you. So you better be on the quest to always be ahead of the curve, or niggas gonna get you. And I mean it just like that. And that's what I'm telling these young babies, especially if you black, because the shit is geared for you not to win. That's the reason why you can't think. That's the reason why I told these 8th graders, 6th graders, 7th graders, why are they not teaching y'all how to critically think? And the teachers didn't disagree. When I told them that the teacher's not going to have an issue when they leave, they didn't disagree. And we talking about babies here. So if these women disagreed, that was supposed to be the time to step like, oh, you can't be telling them that that's not true. And I can prove it. They didn't do that. Because it is true. And I can prove it. Look how they acting here. Look how my babies is acting in here. You feel what I'm saying? Appreciate you, bro. Damn, Ohio. Oh, that's a good look. I like that. You know, we got the same issues everywhere. That's something I learned dealing in a lot of these youth movements and talking to my brothers and sisters in Connecticut, in New Mexico, in Kansas, in Oakland, California. Shout out to Frankie and Alex. A lot of our issues are exactly the same, so it gotta be a play. It can't be happenstance. So y'all hear me say this all the time, and I'm never going to stop saying it until we really start turning this shit back. Until more people are saying it to me before I say it to them. Because then I know we working on it. You feel what I'm saying? If more motherfuckers running up to me like, damn, bro, you heard about XYZ? Because I love when people do that. Man, you heard about what the fuck they... Oh, man, we got to do XYZ. Because I don't want to just hear the complaining shit. And you looking for somebody else to do it. Because that's what most of y'all be doing. When you gonna do something about it? When the fuck you gonna do something about it? I'm out here active, motherfucker. What? but shout out to the bro. I appreciate that. Boss Super Shabazz. I don't want to bang your jaw up. My eyes, I gotta get them together, but I think that's what it say, bro. But vibing with the show here in Dayton, Ohio. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully, put something in the comment. Get with me on @PSA_community. Put something in. We might slide out there. Y'all doing some work out there. And I'm all about black folk 24/7. So whatever you talking about, black businesses, black churches, whatever. I don't care. Where the black people at? I want to be there. I want to see what they got going on so we can figure some shit out community-wise. So, I appreciate that shout. But back to the babies. So I start telling them about critical thought. Teachers did not agree. I tell them that these white women have privilege. Their lives are going to be fine. So when you think that you disrupting them or doing something against them, you really, that's you. Because this shit worked for you to fail. She going to get paid regardless. She like a CEO. It's reckless shit. So now they kick the babies out. I say what I say to the other babies. They feeling me. I told Elizabeth I seen something different went on in school. When I talked to you 2 weeks ago, you were participating. You knew what was going on. You was active. You liked it. I was surprised that you wasn't one of the people to do the presentation. So what has happened? Because there's something going on with young black girls in our city. Pay attention to them. I'm walking around the school, 8th graders calling each other bitch like we say nigga. I keep telling y'all it's a 90s niggas. That's what they doing with our young women right now. Pay attention. Same way y'all didn't pay attention to all these young boys being locked up. Or y'all wanted them to be because they was the boogeyman, right? They was the one killing everybody, right? And now crime down, gun violence is down, and now I just hear the news keep talking about everything is a mass murder. I know what happened. I ain't read the news article. The streets gonna tell me everything I need to know, what's true and what's false. And I ain't a reporter in that way anyway. So me getting the details to that point, I don't even try to do that. But what I do be wanting y'all to understand is what's going on. Contextualize this shit. So in April, we had 5 homicides. If the numbers was correct, I could be wrong. Check my math. And if my math wrong, let me know. But I don't think it is. So in April, 5. I hear multiple people giving the DA's office or whoever else y'all want to get his credit to. For it being down 35%. Why y'all still reporting on this shit like we at epidemic proportions? Why y'all keep trying to keep people mindset in this stay safe mentality when it's down 30%? April said 5 homicide. I wish it was 0. But the one thing I want y'all to pay attention to, if crime get cut in half, somebody's not getting paid. Somebody not getting paid, y'all. So just pay attention to that before y'all start talking about who shot, who got killed. Everybody a survivor. Our community create these people. The ones who gonna die young and the ones that's gonna go to jail for a long time for it, or not. The ones with the mentality that, yeah, I settle my conflicts with a gun. Death is what might be of you if you argue with me. Our culture created that. Our adults who didn't know no better created these babies that do these things. So I know people, family, they get murdered out here. It's Paris, and I know y'all ain't gonna like the way I'm saying it. But the system is creating these environments where your families are being killed, robbed, raped. The welfare office is exploiting them. DHS is exploiting them. The school district not doing their job. The cops didn't do their job during the pandemic. Our young people was making songs about walking people down. How can you do that in a major city? How can you put 35 bullets in a baby head in Malcolm X Park on 52nd and Pine in the police station on 55th and Pine? And it's usually a cop stationed in that motherfucking Sunoco right there on 52nd and Spruce. How can you chase somebody through that park, shoot them up, and then put 35 in their head? You shot through the park. You chased them through the park shooting at them. Then when you got there, you put them in his head. And some people saying they don't even think that was kids. And I ain't no fucking conspiracy theorist. You don't hear me talking about no conspiracy shit. COINTELPRO is not a conspiracy theory. Look it up. Fred Hampton is not a conspiracy theory. Look it up. Bunchy Carter is not a conspiracy theory. Look it up. Mutulu Shakur is not a conspiracy theory. And it's a bunch of people you don't know who had the same fate. Because this country is devious on all levels. How you think we got here? Why you think we still fighting 500 years later? So nah, this ain't no conspiracy theory. But just when y'all think it's some peace, why everybody around you still talking about violence? Why we ain't shifting the culture? And there's some people, a lot of people that eat off of crime. Same people that'll tell you they ain't want the prison, now they don't want to close it down. It's factual, look it up. So, we teaching these kids about school to prison pipeline. That's what's happening in these schools, but now it's with the young women. But we can call it anything to prison pipeline now because every role for black people lead to jail or premature death. The food, the schools, the hospitals, how you spend your money, drugs, virtual reality, mental illness, housing. Everything seems like it's attacking us. Only a select few of us get the benefit from shit. I ain't make it up. But you can act like I did. And be mad at me. Because I'm not comfortable with it. I don't like these things being culture. But anyway, she kicked the babies out. Finished the commencement. Celebrated everybody. Went outside. Those 2 babies were standing in front of the door. They didn't want to leave. They wanted us to talk to them. They didn't want to get kicked out. I told the little sister, I said, damn, Goddess, when I came up here the last time, you was garbed up. You had a lot to say in the class. You participated. And your girlfriends did the same thing. We even talked about that. And then today, this Muslim sister, this adult woman, black woman, who is a Muslima, get up here to talk, to give you some jewels, to give you some connections and some network, trying to tell you whatever you need, you can call her. She has a lot of resources. And because you moving around here playing games, trying to be disruptive to this white woman and to these white women, and whatever else you got going on, you just disrespected that woman. You were very rude. And this baby face started shaking. Because that wasn't her intent. And these women wasn't culturally competent. They didn't know how to talk to her. If they even care. And that's the difference. I don't know Goddess from nowhere. I met this young woman all of 2 times. That was the second time. But I understand some things about her because she's a young black girl. I have 2 of them. I was raised by them. I got multiple sisters, cousins. It's just certain things that I know, that I pay attention to on purpose. Your feminine side is not for you to be a woman. Your feminine side is for you to understand the women in your life better. You don't have those feelings because you want to be a woman. But if it's explained to you like that, you're going to think that's what it is. And that's another conversation for another day. I'm always cool with having that one too. But she wasn't supposed to kick those babies out the room, and she definitely didn't have they didn't have the skill set to talk to them. So if that just was today in that little segment size that I got, sample size that I got, what's happening to these little girls all day long? You look like a woman. You are a woman. But we don't connect in no way. You don't even know what to say to me. And I'm going through that change right now. This is middle school. So it's like, what? And that's exactly what I'm teaching them. Like, y'all got to know how to critically think. You got to know how to be mindful, be self-aware. Because we don't get a whole bunch of chances. And then when we went to MLK, it wasn't a similar thing. You know, I met a young lady that was in foster care. And she needed resources. And I told her about the PSA program. Make sure, you know, if you're 14 to 26 and you hear this call, male or female, we starting June 1st, actually June 3rd. Come learn how to podcast. Come learn how to monetize. Come how to use this thing as therapy. For connections, networking, to build an institution, to promote. It's really what you want to do with it. For real, how much work you want to put in it. And the virtual world makes it even more accessible. That's why so many different ways you can podcast. And then, you know, I'm going to do my normal thing with the critical thought, the identity. We're going to do some journalism. We're going to do some, we're going to get some financial literacy, some business. You know, how to deal with your intellectual capital. I definitely got, you know, my brother too, giving them the jewels. Well, how do you do this? How do you run a business? How do you merchandise? We're going to definitely get the merchandise made real time. Because everywhere they represent, and I'm going to show them and how they moving with the program and they repping the brand, that this is how you replicate it and do it with your brand. And we're going to build off of that. So if you 14, 26, holla at me, man. At PSA_community. DM me. Jarue Lawson 1 at gmail.com. 267-249-4054. Damn, I ain't give out my number on the joint in a long time. That used to be my thing. This shit got a little goofy in the world. Shout out to all the people that got goofy in the world. Made me not want to set my number on the line real quick, but I'm back. Shout out to y'all energy, man. You know what I mean? But, you know, long story short, that's always my landing space, man. Identity and critical thought. And being culturally competent is important because that's a part of the whole intergenerational conversation, because sometimes it's not a racial thing. It's not an ethnicity thing. Sometimes it's an age thing. Sometimes it's a demographic thing. You know what I mean? If you from Detroit, I'm from Philadelphia, it's going to be some cultural things where we don't understand each other. We have a lot of the other stuff that align, but culturally we look at things differently. And that's where cultural competence is important. That's why we always need to be learning. We always need to be paying attention. Because I knew by telling that young woman, one, you were participating before, so what changed? And I know you smart. You was answering most of the questions and you was answering them correct. And you had your girlfriends on the right shit. You feel me? And then the other thing is, this is a black woman, and y'all talked about being black women, and y'all talked about being targeted as young women in middle school. This is the conversation with the bad kid. You know what I'm saying? The one with the attitude. And it's always the same story. That's why I don't see why people be acting like they don't understand, but they do understand. That ain't, please. But anyway, the other thing was, you Muslim. I seen that you, and I know a lot of these babies don't really understand it. They do it as culture, because that's what it is in Philadelphia in a lot of ways. But then that's an identifier that's more reason why you need to have respect for this woman. And that's why she was ready to start crying. And I left her alone after that. I ain't no need for you to cry. I didn't even come at her real demonstrative like that. I just was asking her, like, basically, like, you know better. And this is disappointing. You know what I'm saying? So, but that was a moment. It needed to happen. You know what I mean? The children appreciated it. My colleagues, everybody, we appreciate it. Because you need that. It's like, don't nobody want to doom and gloom the babies, but it's like, it's a certain way this going to go. And I care enough to tell you, but I also care enough that I can help you. But I can't fight you to take care of you. It's too much going on. Like, that's a wild John. Like, I can't fight you to take care of you. It's too, and because at a certain point, you could do it when you young, and it's like, all right, I can fight with your child. But after they start getting big like adults and really start moving in spaces and getting their own little people that they get, it's like, nah, I don't have the energy to run against that. Because I know they all backwards if they listening to you. And you ain't listening to me, and I'm trying to give you the world. Or whatever level of it I can give you. Just the care of that or knowing that is enough to know you worthy of something that'll make you do more for yourself. If I can't do majority of the stuff that the world says I can't do for whatever reason, but the attempt was there. That's a funny thing. So, shout out to all the young people at Wagner. They did an amazing job. It was an honor. I told them that. MLK, same thing. Those young people. And one of the things that was troubling about MLK was the fact that the babies did a collective resistance project, which is baby organizing, to get the security people to do their job and make sure that the metal detectors work. And that's so disheartening because it's like what we talked about in school, the organizer school, that coercion and consent. Everything is about deception in this joint. Everything. They make you believe you need stuff you don't need because they create cultures. And you only need one or two people to upset a culture that doesn't have firm grounding, to make people sway and go. That's why we jump ship so much and we always into whatever the new fad is so quickly. And we don't even understand it. And none of this stuff is grounded in anything that's really building for black folk. It'll build individual black people, but it doesn't build us as a collective, even though we're doing it collectively. So it was just crazy to me. And I understand it. I wasn't upset with these children. I gave them the information I can give them to like go against that. And they lightened the blow of it. You know, it was more of just having that culture of not being safe. And feeling like the school and adults should make it so they can be safe. And because what they've been shown is metal detectors and security people, that's where they know to go when they feel unsafe. But really what they're doing is telling the adults, create an environment. Why are y'all saying the children are creating? And then, and this is the other sickening part. If you think that the children are moving on this mindset and they're identifying what can just be considered this wild school, the teachers need to stop saying it. Stop dealing with these children like that. It's not you. It's not them promoting the idea. It's you, because you have all the mechanisms to make sure that that's not a thing. You really do have the power. And we acting like the children have the power. Oh, it's nothing I can do about this. And then when you know it's the parent, The parents is your girlfriends and your cousins and your aunts. Like nobody has these parents in their families. So let's get to the root cause of that. How much are you digging in to make sure that they know better for the children? Or you the one going out with them knowing that they ain't got the motherfucking money to be going out, but you got to want to go out following you, and then you going to talk shit about them after y'all go out. She shouldn't have been following me. She want to be like me. No, what you should have told her is like, listen, guess I'm on the next joint. Or don't even tell her about that joint. Go do it on your own time with some other people. Why even put that in her lap? Knowing she don't make those decisions right. And then it do look ugly when the children don't got. So anyway, that is something that kind of bothered me, but I get it. I understand that shows me how the system, because of their consistency with their institutions and with their messages and mantras and fashion and entertainment, they able to teach our children without us even knowing half of the time. So we have to be consistent as well. I know I get on people's nerves and I'm cool with it, but I'm going to keep talking about the same shit until it change. En masse. I'm not talking about no one-offs. I don't care if you let 6 people go and it's 600 people you could have let go. When you let 6 go and we celebrating that, come on, send some more, man. What do we celebrate? Yeah, them 6 people should be celebrating, but us as a group, and if they really understood, they wouldn't be like, nah. Cause it's just it's 15, 30 dudes in there with the same circumstances as me. So why you ain't letting all of them out? It's more than enough housing, more than enough food out here. For real. It really is, y'all. Don't let them give y'all that scarcity mindset. It's not real. But a lot of us have it. That's the survival shit. But, I always enjoy, being able to teach our children, be able to give some things that I didn't get, some of the things that I missed. Not saying that I ain't had no people that love me in my life. I did. But they didn't always have the skill sets I needed. And that's just a reality. So whenever I get the opportunity to do any level of resourcing for people, period, especially our people, but in particular black people. I mean, in particular babies, the children. You know what I'm saying? You got to do it. So, shout out to Care Not Control, man. We're going to end youth detention in PA. You know what I mean? We're going to build our base. We need more young people knowing, and I was talking about it today. You know what I'm saying? Coming into the fold, understanding what Care Not Control is, what we do. Shout out to the Uncaged Potential podcast created by the young folks of Care Not Control on the Youth Advisory Board. We got a contest going on right now. You can go to Care Not Control at Care Not Control on Instagram. You can what's Brit Instagram? I gotta write it down. But you could go to Care Not Control's Instagram. Just go to CNC. It's a neon green, John. You can't miss it. And all the information. I'll be posting the flyer for it on my Instagram. The deadline is June 14th, if I'm not mistaken. June 14th. The age range is 14 to 26, if I'm not mistaken. Again, the same age range for the PSA program, teaching young folks all the different components of podcasting. You can win $500. We give you the beat, and you are doing the intro for the show. If I'm not mistaken, it could be spoken word. It could with however genre you want to go into, and it's $500. So tap in. Look at my Instagram is at PSA_community or Jarue Lawson at Jarue Lawson on Instagram as well. I'm gonna be posting it like every day. Look in the story. I gotta post it. Probably put a reel on it today, or put it in a reel today. But it's $500. We provide the beat. You making an intro song for the Uncaged Potential podcast, brought to you by Care Not Control. It's a coalition. So, I'm about to step out. Today is an early day. I got some business to take care of. You know, I'm supposed to be getting honored today, so I got to try to make it down there on time. I'm probably not gonna make it on time. I ain't gonna lie, like you know, I don't mind it, especially if it's a couple dollars. Oh, there it go. Shout out to Rakia. Shout out to the Village Restoration Project. Where have you been? Shout out to my dog. Yeah, we about to do some dope shit too. But at Beetle Vision, to look up the podcast contest, again, $500, 14 to 26. You're making an intro song. We're providing the beat. Listen, get the bread, man. Come with something hot. But it has to be socially conscious. Remember, Uncaged Potential Podcast is a podcast about abolition. Youth abolition in particular. We are going to close and end youth detention in PA and across the country. Like, there's no documented evidence or data that shows young people benefiting from going to youth detention. And stop with the violent crime stuff, because y'all know that these children have issues that they're coming from. You know they're coming from disadvantaged communities, oppressed communities. You know they're coming from a place where the people have a history of trauma, because they're the great-great-grandchildren of black folk from the antebellum South, the Jim Crow South, the crack epidemic. What time frame black people have not been targeted? So what do you think is going on with our children? So if you 13 and you was selling drugs, you raped something, you shot something, the vicious stuff. It's the community fault. What happened to that community? Where do you get those sexualized idea that rape is a thing? Where did you learn that? That's what we need to dig into when a 12, 13, 14-year-old commits a vicious sexual crime or shoots somebody. Where did they get the idea that that was how you handle this from? How did that 13, 14, 15-year-old mind bring that idea up? How did it get conformed? How did it get created? You telling me they created it innately? That's a lie, because America has a thing called rape culture. Shit, we all borderline rapists, men and women. Child molesters, men and women. Because that's what we've been raised in this culture. Because that rugged individualism goes to sexual exploits too. You want what you want, when you want it. Whatever feels good. You want it at any cost because it feels good. And anybody that ain't coalescing around you getting that feeling, something wrong with them. Yeah, something wrong with them. That's how a motherfucker think. And it's crazy. The crazy thing about rape culture, before I slide out of here, since y'all want to talk about kids doing adult things, it's no such thing. They're not adults because their brain doesn't even work like adults. How can you ever send them to adult anything and their brain doesn't work like an adult? And then you find out that adult brains in America, what they like 8, 9? So if if a 40-year-old nigga run around here like he 18, and it ain't just black people, but it's a lot of time warps in the black community that keep us kids forever. A lot of them. I've been to one of them. Schools do it. Music does it. Your household can do it. Parents that don't know no better got you trapped in time. Over coddling, over protecting you. So there's a lot of ways that it could happen. But how, man? How y'all be coming up with these bogus ass arguments? But he shot somebody. How old was he? Where did he get the idea? Every adult that ever came in contact with him should be on trial too. Not just mom and dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, older cousins, big brothers, corner store, teachers, anybody. Because we the one gave him that thought process that rape was a thing, that sex is a necessity that he has to get. Oh, and y'all ain't talking about the little girls out here molesting and raping and orchestrating molestations and rapes. We don't talk about that enough. You know you left that girl in there and you knew what they was going to do. That's rape too, y'all. Motherfucking, what's the name of that ass movie that Kane, that fucking Cube sellout ass made? The stripper shit, so you can infuse this bullshit in the culture. And what did y'all see in culture after that dumbass movie came out and women started talking about, it's another way to hustle? Woo! Don't get me started. But hey, she'd seen what her brother did. I know a lot of grandmoms, moms, and all that. You know what your brother did. You know what your husband do. You know what your grandson did. You know what your son did. You know what happened to that girl when you left her? When I was on motherfucking when I was in Connecticut, the one girl was like mad as shit, like the other girl didn't understand. She was like, no, I'm not dealing with her no more because she left me. She left me. You don't leave. How you gonna leave me? And she like, no, but she just wasn't. She like, no, you don't leave nobody. Like, and the little sister, again, y'all think this color thing is a thing. Cause she a dark-skinned sister. She know how I feel. She know how I feel that because you are unattractive, nobody cares what happens to you. The light-skinned girl, somebody gonna make sure she get home. Not saying nothing don't happen to light-skinned women. Don't even play that fucking game. But y'all know what I'm talking about. And the girl just didn't understand. The other girl just kept saying it. Like, I don't play that. I'm never dealing with her again. You don't leave nobody. And I know it because I got women in my family. I talk to them how niggas don't. You got to give a nigga the wrong number and all this shit. Or give him the real number, call the number so a nigga leave you alone. What? That's rape culture shit. That ain't persistence. That's rape culture shit. And these phones and sending each other the weird shit on the phones, and it done blurred all the lines. And then what you think the baby's gonna do with it? Since y'all want to talk about he did something heinous, you did it first and showed him. Think about it. People walked around for millions and millions of years with no clothes on, and rape was not a culture. Motherfuckers get clothes in buildings and all of this type of shit, and the two places where you can get raped is on a military fucking base and a college campus. Those are the two most unprotected places for women, for real. How? It's nothing modern about this society, bro. It's nothing about it. Yes, it is. That is a culture. Yeah. Entitlement over women's bodies as a culture. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So where do you think the young men are learning it from? And now the young women embody it as well. Women are misogynist too. Look at that lady that run all the motherfucking reality TV joints that y'all celebrate as this businesswoman. She like Madam C.J. Walker. She told y'all to hate yourselves in order for her to make money and be more acceptable to the white folks. That's how she made her money. It's like selling drugs. Shit. Like, we really got to understand it because our society is still fucked up from us fucking with this hair shit. Like them babies told me, women are still fighting. These little girls are still fighting over here. That's why they got baby hair covering their whole forehead. Madam C.J. Walker can't afford the hairstyle. Look crazy out here. And the older women ain't checking them. They trying to wear baby hair too. Or separate yourself like, yeah, I could get the style. Let's look at these little girls. What they doing? What? They want to be you. So, I'm about to slide out. I was supposed to leave already. But the spirit moved me. And then somebody else let me know they be watching. And I appreciate it. I love it. So, again, shout out to Rakia. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go down here to this appreciation thing. I was going to tell some people to come. I did tell like 2 people to come, but I ain't going to press it. I'm going to shoot down there and see what it's hitting for. I feel like I might be disappointed. If they give me a chance to talk, they might be disappointed. So listen, y'all. Shout out to the Defense Association. Appreciate you, my boy Guy. Theo, Appreciate you, bro. They told me the whole story, how everything went down. Tamara, thank you. Appreciate y'all for the opportunity, man. I love when black people can do business with black people in a real black way. You know what I'm saying? Communally. Nothing like nothing you ever seen before. This is PSA, Philly service announcement. Takeover Tuesday, takeover love, support, grace, social activism, resources and art. I am the assist. Shout out to my brother Took, man, being patient. Got a little something. But again, black folk doing black business the way black people do, man. Something you never seen before. So, you know, I love black people. That's what we doing out here. We out. Peace.